Welcome. My name is Jerry Sunarine, and today's lesson will look at how do I name and plot points on a coordinate plane. Before we go into the main lesson, we're going to do a little bit of practice in understanding what is a coordinate plane. So the first thing what we want to do is we're going to be plotting points on a coordinate grid. So here's an example of a coordinate grid. On the coordinate grid, we have two lines, one that goes left and right, which is called the x-axis, and one that goes up and down, which is the y-axis. When we first look at this, we want to always start at the origin, which is over here. It's when the x is 0 and the y is 0. So we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 going this way on the x, and we count up and down 1, 2, 3 going up in the y. So when we do this, we want to calculate each coordinate. So let's say for here, we are calculating 4, 8. When we look at these two numbers, the first number is we're going to move along the x coordinate, and the second value, we're going to move along the y coordinate. So when we're doing this, we start at the origin, we move to 4, which is on our x, we stop, and then we're going to move up to 8, which is our y, and we plot our point. And we can name the point the coordinate 4, 8, or sometimes you might see a letter, and we can just write the letter instead. Some helpful hints is if you forget which direction you need to go, think about the alphabet. X comes first, then Y. So sometimes a misconception is that we might forget which one it goes first. Sometimes the Y, somebody or students might plot the Y thinking that the 4 is the Y and then this is the X. But always think about X, comma Y. X comes first in the alphabet, then Y. So hopefully that might be helpful in understanding how to plot coordinates. This is a topic that requires some practice, and it can take a few problems to get the hang of it. We're going to practice with some coordinates on the next slide. So here, I want you to plot the points. So here are 5 coordinates. We have A, B, C, D, and E. They all have names on them. And here's a blank coordinate grid. So think about where you would plot it. And sometimes having graph paper is super helpful in doing this and plotting. So plot the points and we will compare your plots with the ones that is on the next slide. Okay, so here we go. So when we're plotting the points, let's say for the first point we have A, which is 3, 4. So again, we want to remember start at the origin. We're going to go to 1, 2, 3, and we're going to move up to 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. We plot a point and we're going to put A. Look at another one. Let's say if we're plotting B, it's 4, 2. So we're going to start at the origin. We're going to go to 4, count 4 spaces, and stop, and go up to 2 and plot. After you move in the X and Y direction, you put the plot there, and we label the point, which is B. Let's do another one. Let's say if we're going to plot, let's say E, which is 2, 0. Okay, we start at the origin. The 2 tells us we're going to move 2 spaces on the X, and then the Y tells us we're going to move 0 spaces. Since we're moving 0 spaces, we're not moving anywhere, so we stay at this point and we plot it as E. Okay, so hope this was helpful. We're going to do a bunch more practice problems. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. All right, so we have 5 new points, F, G, H, I, and J. So take a moment, think about how you would plot these 5 points onto this coordinate grid, and we're going to compare our answers on the next slide. Okay, so let's look at this. So let's say we start with F, 1, 4. So again, we start at the origin. We're going to move to 1. Then we're going to go up to 4, which is our Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we plot F. Let's say we're going to plot G. We're going to start at 5, 4. G, we start at the origin. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to stop. And since our y-coordinate is 4, we're going to move up 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we plot it and label it with a capital letter G. Let's do another one. Let's say we're going to move this time, let's say J, 0, 4. Okay, so again, we're going to start at our origin. Our first direction is going 0 units on the x-axis. So since 0 means we're not moving anywhere, we're going to stay here. And then our y, we're going to go in the direction of our y 4 units, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to plot the point here with a capital J. We're going to move on to another set of coordinates for practice. Here we go. So we have P, Q, R, S, and T. So here are 5 extra points, a blank coordinate grid, and here's some more practice to plot it on the grid. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to move on to the next slide to compare our answers. Okay, so let's see, the first coordinate, let's say, is P, 1, 1. So we're going to start at our origin, 0, 0, and we're going to move 1 space on the x, and we're going to move 1 space to our y, which is P. We plot our capital P here, and that is our coordinate. That's our point. Let's say we move up down to, let's say, R, 3, 1. We're going to start at our origin. We're going to go 3 units on our x, 1, 2, 3. We're going to move up 1 unit, which is our R, and we're going to plot it there. Capital R, and here's our coordinate. We're going to do one more, let's say 7, 2. So we start at our origin, we're going to move 7 units on our x-axis, and then we're going to move 2 units up to on our y, and we're going to plot our point and label it with a capital S. Okay, so now we're going to move into our summarization. So to summarize, how do I name and plot points on a coordinate plane? The first thing is start at the origin. Move on the x-coordinate, then move to the y-coordinate, then label the coordinate with the letter. And remember, just a reminder, x comes first, then y. And always start at the origin to plot your point. Hope this was helpful and have a great day.